Hey guys, what's going on? Got another knife review for you guys today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the K-Bar Dozier designed folding hunter. This is a very, very inexpensive, awesome little EDC, utility, or folding bushcraft knife. Alright, like I said, this is made by K-Bar in collaboration with custom knife designer Bob Dozier, and making a production version of his famous custom folding hunter. He makes about 100 a year, and are very, very awesome knives. They retailed about $600, however. This knife retails for $30. Now you can find this on Amazon for about $15 to $16. Alright, let's take a look at the construction. All of them are made from Zytel handle scales. Just a single pin construction. You see right there, which is mainly just to hold part of the mechanism for the lockback. This is the foliage green version. They also make a desert tan version, a safety orange version, and of course just standard black. I'd like to have all of them, really. This is pretty much I think this is just considered the standard version, because they have a large hunter which has a 3/4 of an inch longer blade, and they have a miniature version which also comes in pink. Portion of that proceeds go towards breast cancer awareness, so that's pretty cool. Now the small hunter has, I think, a inch shorter blade. Alright, as I said, Zytel handle scales. See K-Bar stamped right there in that circular pattern right there. Kind of reminds me of the Green Lantern logo. And then you have this really nice, almost diamond plate texturing on the handle. Almost reminiscent of a 1911 grip. But I love it personally. It offers great traction. It really does. It offers incredible traction. I really like that design. As I said, just a single pin construction, closed back design. I prefer it to be flow through, but they try to keep the price point down and the weight. Very nice pocket clip. It is very, very solid. I mean, you hear it. Can't even hardly lift it. But there is no wiggle on it at all, and I've never had to adjust it. I've been carrying it for about a week. And like I said, I've never had to adjust that. It carries fine. If you guys want to see how it carries, it might carry a little too high for a lot of you guys. That's how it would carry in your pocket, which I don't mind. I like having something extra I can grab onto to pull my knife out. You know, personally, I think lowrider pocket clips are kind of gimmicky. That's just my personal opinion, however. But very nice pocket clip. And if you're noticing, the pocket clip is resting on that smoothed portion of that quote-unquote Green Lantern logo. So very nice. They pulled a Spyderco design there. Like the Delicas and the Enduras, the pocket clips will rest on the smooth portion of the handle that has the Spyderco logo on it. So this knife does carry very securely on your pocket, but it does not tear up your pocket at all. Like I said, I've been carrying it for about a week, and trust me, it's one of the things that's going to make me stop carrying a knife the most, is if it's going to tear up my pants. So, very nice. The pocket clip is reversible from left to right hand carry, but only for tip up. But you can see how deep that clip sets inside the handle. Very cool. You have about a medium-sized lanyard hole right there if you guys like to attach lanyards. I've tested it. It will accommodate 2 pieces of gutted 550 cord, or 1 piece with the cord still in it, or with the innards still in it. I'm sorry. And then you have, of course, your Torx bit for the pivot. All right, took a look at the handle. Let's take a look at the blade. First you have a very, very cool knurled thumb stud. And if you have trouble see that, let me pull out the jeweler's loop here. So very, very cool. And you have a rounded design for the thumb stud, which in most cases is a problem, but not for this knife. Thumb stud comes up over the handles. Can't stand it when knife companies will try to make the thumb studs level with the handles. So it is very, very easy to get this blade out of the handle. The knurling does help a lot, believe it or not. So very cool. It is not gimmicky, it actually works. You got that very nice drop point style blade. Let's take a look at that. It is a hollow ground blade. You can kind of see that, and you can definitely feel it. The blade is made of Aussate stainless steel, and that is a very adequate steel. That's about the best steel you're going to get for this price point. The blade is not powder coated, it's actually just painted, much like a lot of the Ontario Rat 1 folders with the black coating. It is just a paint. It doesn't look as cheap as the Rat 1 coating though. But this will chip, whereas powder coating will kind of rub off and scrape off. This will just come off in big chips. So if you guys don't like that, you might not be a fan of this, but you can get the satin finish blade. You see it says K-Bar stamped there. Dozier design with the logo. Very cool logo. And yes, this knife is made overseas in Taiwan. Forgot to mention about the thumb stud. It is reversible with that Torx screw. So very cool. Also a very nice offering for this price point. So anyway, just a very, very sexy looking blade in my opinion. And you have a little run of jimping up here. And how's that jimping? Very deep and very sharp. You plant your thumb on that jimping, your thumb isn't going anywhere. It locks in perfectly. You can probably see my thumb from the jimping. It locks your thumb in perfectly. So also a very nice offering for this price point. The coating does not affect the jimping at all like most coated blades. They'll make the jimping feel kind of rounded. That jimping is very sharp and very, very awesome. Some of the best jimping I've had on any knife. And this is one of the cheapest knives I own. No jimping up here on the top of the on the spine of the lock back. Very, very easy to actuate the lock back. It doesn't stick. It's not hard like a lot of lock backs are. And the lock up, like most lock backs, incredibly solid. There's absolutely no blade play up and down or side to side. None at all. Another very surprising fact about this knife being only like a $15 knife. And also, which brings me to another point, how light this knife is. About 2¼ ounces. But, and this kind of goes along with the point I was just making about the lockup. I don't know if you can see. No steel liners. It is just the Zytail handle scales. There are no steel liners in this knife at all, which makes it incredibly light. And usually that affects the lockup. It usually gives you a little side-to-side wiggle. None whatsoever. So, way to go, K-Bar and Dozier. That is incredible. You have a nice little finger flare here. Not that purposeful, but with the jimping, you're going to be just fine. You have a little swell right here for your fingers. So when you're cutting this way, your fingers won't perhaps slip or anything. It's a pretty nice flare right there. And you can really feel the texturing when you're gripping this knife. The bottom of the scales here are a tad sharp. They could have radiused the insides right there a little bit. I might sand that, because when you grip this knife really hard and just the right angle, it's a tad painful. You can see the mark there right above my ring. So it is a tad bit painful. You might want to go over that with some sandpaper. This, however, is perfectly radiused. It's the inside right there at the handle. It's kind of sharp. But like I said, I don't really mind it. Just take a look at that good looking blade. Also, a neat feature about this thing, which some people might say is a flaw, but for a knife this lightweight and with a blade that size, it has a really thick stock. Look how thick the blade is. Let me compare it to my SC Izula. The Izula is definitely thicker, but it's a fixed blade. Look how thick it is just compared to that little folding hunter. Just a very, very awesome design. Incredibly light. Like I say, here's another shot of it in my hand. Fits my hand perfectly. Ergonomics are amazing. And I just love how light this is. It is incredibly and easy to carry because you forget it's on you half the time. How's the edge? You may be asking. Piece of paper here. And I have not touched this up at all. This is factory out of the box edge. I think that answers your question, guys. Razor shaving sharp right out of the box. And for a retailing $30, street value $15. And I got this knife absolutely free. Compliments of Dozier Knives at Blade Show. I was incredibly grateful, and still am. This is an awesome, awesome knife. So, razor sharp out of the box. Great jimping. Great thumb stud. Incredibly light. Good looking blade. Good price too. Like I said, you can get these off Amazon for about $15 all day long. And I'm planning on getting a few more of these. So, I forgot, I can't remember if I mentioned the blade length. The blade length is 3 inches. My little ruler. I may have already mentioned it, but if not, let me just go over it again. 3 inches, and then the overall length is 7 inches. Also, a nice feature about this knife, especially at its price point, is how buttery smooth it is in its deployment. It's incredibly smooth, and then a nice solid snap when it locks. You do have a nice ricasso down here, which will catch your finger. I would not recommend if do not practice with knives very much, or you don't handle knives a whole lot, but you can bring this knife down to where it hits your finger so you can close it one-handed. And also something else about this knife, about how solid it closes. Gets to about right there, and then listen. Very solid. So, excellent knife. A definite must-have in your collection. Because it's just so affordable that you can own a few of them for the price of, hell, you could own the entire collection for the price of one Benchmade. Now, do they have the same components as a Benchmade? No. But it's still a great knife. Has a lot of really great features and definitely something to look at if you're looking into getting a new, affordable, lightweight, sharp, somewhat medium-sized EDC blade. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments box down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay sharp, stay safe, and God bless. Sherman614, peace.